Welcome to
Split the Defense,
where Jordan Webster, Ted Evans, and Craig Pearce talk about the NHL and all things hockey.
Split the Defense
Can be found wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. It's also broadcasted on Amherst Island Radio, 101.3 FM, and online at CJAI.CA.
Welcome to Split the Defense Hockey Podcast. Webby here alongside my co-host CP and producer Ted. Producer Ted runs all production and engineering for our show, making everything look and sound on point. And he also creates the music you hear during Split the Defense Hockey Podcast. Big welcome to the audience joining us on Twitch and YouTube here as we broadcast live on this Thursday night. We'll be back again Monday. We do this every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Come find us online. Search for Split the Defense on most social apps or at STDP Hockey on X, formerly known as Twitter. Please follow, like, and subscribe. Today, we're going to talk about the Leafs' loss in OT to Montreal and the game that they played tonight that we're recording, or last night that you're probably going to listen to this. Thursday's game is going to probably take over a little more. Fraser Minton is going to be a topic. Zegras got a new contract. Martin Jones has a nice mask that I'd like to make note of. And that has to do with Vasilevsky's injury. So Matthews is also joining the penalty kill. We're going to check in on an overseas Leafs prospect. And there's a whole bunch more if we can get to it, as usual, boys. But first, I have Tim Hortons hockey cards.
Hockey card time.
We have to see what we get here, as
like
I
a newer
probably
pack?
struggle.
You got them this year?
I just bought them right today.
Okay.
Wow.
I was going to open them, and I was like, oh, wait, I'll open them on the show.
Yeah.
If I
That's
can
actually
get them
really
open.
exciting.
Oh, I got them open.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, let's see if I get
haven't-
anything good. I always get Elias Pettersson. I've got like 6 of them. I don't know why.
that's
But yeah,
awesome.
you can have those if you want. Craig,
I'll take
'cause I
all
know
of
you'd
them.
like that. Yeah. All right, what did I get?
Is that an Av? What is that?
I got
That looks like burgundy.
Roman Josi.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Okay.
Shiny.
Yeah, okay. We got a Nashville Predator, Roman Josi.
Trevor Zegras.
Trevor Zegras.
Oh, the guy we're
Nice.
going to talk about
Topical.
later.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, very nice.
And Kirby Doc.
Oh,
Kirby
it was
Doc.
red.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty good. All right. Well, I actually got a Marner card one time. It's
Oh.
somewhere. It's in with my other hockey cards where I moved.
Are these,
so
are
they're
these Tim Hortons
somewhere.
exclusive cards, or are these cards that you could just get at any upper deck?
No, I believe they're Tim Hortons
Oh,
exclusive.
Tim Hortons cards. Cool.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Very cool. Very cool if we can get some Leafs players. All right, so let's get right into the Leafs preseason. Leafs lost in OT. I know, Craig, you're going to say it doesn't count.
Well, it doesn't.
But they're playing here tonight, and they're tied 3-3, and pretty much the whole team is in.
Yeah.
I mean, Fraser Minton's still getting a shot, but the whole team's here. I think that this is the guys. They're playing teams that are putting their full teams. These are the games that everybody's going to get in to get warmed up before it all starts, and I think these matter. So I believe it's still probably the end of the second here as we talk. But I just wanted to make a note, boys, that this season's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
I know. I'm glad you just said that in unison. It's going to be great because we're going to have clips and clips and clips from an angry coach every time this team with high expectations fails. So I've got a couple of clips that I picked out here, and I'd like to roll them. We got a couple from Keefe. So why don't you hit the first one for me here?
I love this.
Time with kind of the group as a whole, what can they take from the way it played out tonight?
Well, hopefully they leave pretty bitter about how the game finishes up, whether it's preseason or not. You got to lead, you got to take care of the game and win the game.
Oh, Sheldon Keefe.
I
You got
love
to take
an
care of the lead and
unleashed
win the
Keith.
game. See, he doesn't care whether it's preseason or not, Craig. It matters to
Yeah.
him.
You know what? I love that. He's maybe as a different man that Dubas is gone now. He could doesn't have the training wheels on. You can say he doesn't have to walk back any comments. So this actually might be very exciting to see what Keefe is actually like. Because that guy, when he played, he had a temper. So I want to see. I'm excited.
Buddy, talk about temper. The second clip. Finish what you're going to say, but the second clip shows his temper big time.
Like to see improved about nailing down the win.
It's just a sloppy game.
Doesn't even
Sloppy
get a
game, not
special.
taking care of the puck well, being a little too cute with it.
Too cute.
All things that you like to think, whether it's preseason or not, you like to think that we're past a lot of that stuff, and we weren't tonight, but we have time to get that fixed.
How do you sell?
So you know what? It sounds like the players are Craig and I'm Sheldon Keefe. Players are like, dude, it's preseason, and I'm like, I don't give crap if it's preseason.
Yeah.
Win these games. Show me you can do it.
I don't care
Do it
what the
now,
score
I'll do
is,
it
but
later.
I do care what the effort level is like. And I did like when I watched, we were recording when that was on, but I watched it back, and there was some pretty cute plays, like Sheldon Keefe said, So
I kind of care what the score is.
yeah, I mean, I do in a bit, but I think Samsonov also would have liked to have a few of those back. There's a few that kind of squeak through that I think when he's sharp, those aren't going in. So, but yeah, not a great result.
I mean, I think preseason has to be talked about in stages in a way. Like the first few games, I watched the Avs lose their first preseason game. I honestly didn't care about the score. And normally, I really care about Avs scores, and I'm usually mad when they lose. But I really didn't care because I saw a lot of things in the game that I liked from players that I either didn't know or did know and wasn't expecting to see. So there's that. And then as you get closer to the end of preseason, you're kind of like, okay, we need to see these things now, and I do want to see a win, and I do want to best the other team, So yeah, there are stages for sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
the man has a point.
Yeah, I that's how I feel about it too. At the beginning, I didn't care, and now I'm starting to care a little bit more. Next game, I really want to see a good performance. So that's when I might lose my temper.
Yeah, they better start pulling it together. Tie going into the third here, as we were just talking about. Hopefully they win tonight, boys, eh? That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a few guys that are playing that are all fighting for spots. The guys playing tonight are Minton, Holmberg, and Benoit. Now they're all trying to still earn a spot here. I don't know if Nick Robertson's going to get another shot in the last game or if he's out. McMahon is also in the mix, I've seen, because he was in line rushes the other day with Kampf and Reeves. That'd be a great line.
That'd be an awesome line.
But point is, Minton, Holmberg, Benoit. Do you think anybody else is going to make the roster over them? Do you think anybody else should? Do you think one of those three guys are going to be on here? Or do you think it's going to be Bobby McMahon when he comes back still? Because that's what you keep saying.
I mean, Benoit's not looking great tonight. He had three penalties going in after the second period, so his chances might have just gone down. But I do like he's a big body. I think that's something that the Leafs need.
Crashing and banging, he was making room. He took a couple guys into the boards tonight. So
yeah, if he could just be a little smarter,
that.
I know that Sheldon Keefe wants him to be on the team just based on his comments. Fraser Mittens, this is a shocker. Like we were talking about him looking good, but always that this is not a possibility. And it seems like he's got a real chance. And he was looking good right off like the very beginning of the game. He just came out. He was knocking pucks out of the air and making plays. Again, he's playing with Nyes, which just that seems to be a good fit for them. So Holmberg, there's been these quotes where that guy loses effort once he gets comfortable in a location. They know that from him being in the Marlies, so I think he has less of a chance. Based on
he looked good tonight, though. He made a really strong play, really strong, pushed the guy away, went right around the net, and made a pass right across the ice.
He always looks good when he's trying, and that's the problem. Is he's kind of has a tendency that if he does make the team, that 3 or 4 weeks into the season, he hits a decline and gets complacent. So I think they know that. So he's really going to have to put on a performance. So
yeah, for a longer stretch. But if he even gets that stretch, though, right? If he's going to make the team, is he going to be the guy that goes back and forth? He's still got waivers. He's still waivers exempt, so he can go back and forth as they want him to. I think, right?
Yeah, to me, he's like he's like Kampf, just he's not quite as consistent. And so, he can be you can call him
maybe
up,
with a little more of a scoring touch.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's right. So he could be a good call up. I don't think he's going to make the team because just based on the waivers situation. And now that we're talking about Minton, there's also the 9 games that they could give him before they send him back to junior, and then it doesn't count for anything. So that might be the route that they're deciding to go, because I liked him. So I'm also I always cheer for the kids. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see Fraser Minton make the team. I like the way he plays. I like the creativity from him, right? I love the creativity. I love the way he plays with knives. He's always making these passes that, like, it's almost video game like, because, like, you know, as much as you want to say, like, you learned how to play the game on the ice, if you played the game at all and you watched it overhead, you start studying this stuff, and the guys who get it, get it. And it looks like Fraser Minton, he is an absolute gamer. You could take a game sheet and draw out plays. His whole mind is on the ice, and he can see what's happening and dropping passes back and making passes across, getting in the right spot. You guy's going to go this way, but he goes to the other. Like, you know, zigs when you expect him to zag, and he's winning in these opportunities. Like, and he's 20 years old. It's just unbelievable to see, but he's a big body. So we're all like, okay, well, he fits in. Maybe it's not unbelievable to see, because, I mean, we had the likes of Nylander, Matthews, Marner playing on this team as rookies that young. Now, they were elite in skill, but
Nylander had a year at AHL, which I think was good for him. But
yeah,
I guess Marner did come up in his second year. Matthews
he had to go
right
back to
away.
junior. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matthews came right away.
But Minton's already gone back to junior, so this would be similar to Marner.
Yeah,
but which just kind of comes out of nowhere, right? Like Marner, we all expected. It's like we
were waiting. It was like,
we were
let's
waiting
go
for that guy to show up. So, and I feel like that was a bit of a wasted year with Marner. Like there was rumors that like he kind of like once he got in the middle of the season, like it's like playing with kids at that point, right? So, I think that I'm cheering for Minton. I'm not 100% convinced, but it seems there's a chance, and he's doing all he can to make it. So,
yeah, well, hopefully he does. So no Klingberg tonight, but he is back on the ice. The Toronto Maple Leafs defenseman John Klingberg was sidelined last week with an upper body injury after head coach Sheldon Keefe said something tightened up on him in a preseason game against the Sabres. So I don't know what he heard, just tight. He's feeling tight.
Yeah.
So we're resting. It's crazy because I really haven't seen much of him. I've seen flashes of good. I've seen flashes of
So. I've seen a few more flashes of the E than I'd like so far, but everyone's warming up, I guess, and he needed to get off to a good start, so this isn't the greatest.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm sold on the John Klingberg. Klingberg piece right now. I just I don't love it. No. He's also wearing number 3 too, which just seems to be terrible. It's like you might as well just be the I can't even think of the word right now, but like the team whipping boy.
Yeah, I actually I saw Justin Hall playing for Detroit tonight.
Yes,
and
he is.
He made I think he's putting on his try-hard boots on tonight because he was.
Of course.
I was noticing him.
Of course. You're definitely going to notice Justin Hall against his old team. Everybody's going to play hard against their old team.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody plays hard against the Leafs to begin with, let alone you played for the Leafs before. Oh, great.
Yeah. Remember that Mark Scheifele quote of him like saying, "There's nothing better than beating the Leafs."
Oh, how can you forget that?
I hated that.
You forget that? One more thought on Minton. I forgot to mention that Keefe said that Minton is going to join the Leafs when they go to Gravenhurst for some team bonding. So they're going up there for the next couple of days, but Cowan will not. Cowan isn't going anywhere, and we'll join the team when they get back. So I'm like, well, why isn't Cowan going anywhere? And I click the comments, and it's Cowan's only 18, boys.
Yeah, you can't have a brewski with that guy.
Yeah, you can't go and take this kid out with you. No. No, we're going to be doing things that you can, and we know that he would, right? And the team can't say yes to that, so we're just not going to say no. You just stay here. So
he's also a guy definitely going back to junior. So next year he can come join the party.
Yeah.
Right.
Cowan's been a nice showing, though. Be nice to see him next year, too, if he's that much stronger, right?
Yeah. He already plays really strong, so it'll be nice to see that.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's our Leafs for now. What's the score of the Leafs?
Yeah,
Got
as
that?
we record, they're playing. They were going into the
They got
into
that.
intermission, weren't they?
It's still 3-3, boys. Nothing's going on here. So
Okay.
we got nothing more to talk about. Same thing as when we left.
Moving on.
Moving on, we got the Ducks. Remember we
Yes.
talked about the RFAs that weren't signed and then the low ball offer.
Yeah.
The Ducks reached an agreement with Trevor Zegras and Jamie Drysdale. Zegras on a 3-year, $5.75 per, and Jamie Drysdale on a 3-year, $2.3 million per. Now, Zegras had back-to-back 60-point seasons, just like Nylander did when he signed his second contract for $6.9 million over 7. Zegras
Leaf
scored
tax.
23 goals in back-to-back years as well. So he's scoring goals, not just putting assists in. It's 23 goals. It's not bad. That's good.
Yep.
I mean, they'd like to see him closer to 30 if you want to pay more, but I think he's young, and I think he'll get there. Now, Drysdale's the interesting one to me, because Drysdale only played 8 games last year. And in those 8 games, he averaged 17 minutes and 37 seconds in ice time per game, which is low for a defenseman.
Yes.
His expected goals for was bad at 40.47, which means that the expected goals on the ice were 60% for the other team. His team were 40 when he was on the ice. That's not good. He did play 81 games in 21-22, scoring 4 goals and 28 assists, where he averaged 19 minutes and 53 seconds and had an expected goals for of 47.2, which isn't as bad. Still bad. Still losing your minutes. So he's a 43.83 career expected goals for, which are expected goals for, expected by who, the whole thing, like whatever. Whatever. It's still, you can see these guys are generating out there, right? Are they dominating? It's almost a stat that shows you which player is dominating or which side is dominating when these players are on the ice, right? Who's taking over and shifting momentum? Which players shift momentum? So 43% over your career isn't good. And I was like, well, maybe he's like a shutdown guy. That's why they drafted him 6th overall in 2020. But no, he's got 44 hits in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Over 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the one thing I will point out is the 21-22 season, Anaheim was a better team. And last year, they stunk. So
Yeah,
He only
was
played
tough.
8 games, though.
Yeah,
And yeah,
fair.
that's the thing.
Yeah, that's true, actually. But
But yeah, 8
he's
games on a bad team, you're not going to put up good stats likely.
But he also didn't help.
No, no, definitely not.
Yeah. I mean, he's a
I
young
mean, you
kid.
can play good and your other line mates can have crappy nights and you guys can lose games. You know what I mean? Like the whole team can be good.
Oh, yeah.
Mistakes happen and you lose games. But
Yeah.
We're
if
gonna
when
win
you're on
that
the
a
ice,
lot.
it's that shifted. Like, holy smokes. That's
He
quite
was
the tell.
drafted as a offensive forward, though.
I know.
So, like, he is a guy that it might just depend on your partner. And, like, maybe he didn't have the right partner to, that he felt confident in or allowed him to move forward and do what he does. And as a defenseman, it's hard to really transition to the NHL. So, the contract, I think, isn't too bad, right? It's $2.3 million for 3 more years. Like,
Yeah,
this is
so
a guy
that's what I wanted to
awesome.
ask you guys. So, do you guys think they're good deals or bad deals or one of each? What do you think of both these contracts? Do you think Anaheim won on these contracts? Because I think they're very team friendly.
Yeah. I think the Zegras one is team friendly. And at only 3 years, we know his next one, especially if he brings those numbers up from the 20 goal range
these are
to
rookie
the 30
numbers.
goal range. Yeah,
You gotta
exactly.
pump those numbers up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything gets pumped up. That contract will get pumped up too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. $11 million.
Ooh.
Well,
Is that what
Crickets.
you're calling right now?
Gotta love
yeah.
it.
It's
All
funny
right.
that they're both 3-year deals. I wonder if they wanted that or the team wanted that. Because
Yeah, does that correspond to anyone in management? Like, is there going to be a GM change around that time? Some office change?
yeah.
The
Is that when they
3-year,
expect to be
set
good?
thing?
Like,
Yeah, maybe
they'll
they're
reevaluate then.
planning for a retooling at that point.
Yeah. That's normally, though, if you're going to be starting to be good, you want to have these guys locked down. Because then, like, you can use those contracts get better after time. So
That's it.
I don't really
right?
know what this tells us about Anaheim as a team, right? But
Yeah, well, we I have no idea what they're thinking. So Martin Jones, have you seen his mask? Have you seen the picture of the artwork? We got a picture of it here, and Martin Jones is actually paying tribute to some iconic Toronto Maple Leafs looks on his new mask. Painted by his longtime personal artist Steve Nash of Eye Candy Air, Jones' new mask features images of 10 different masks from the past, each encased appropriately on a maple leaf. The masks include the easily identifiable looks of Ed Belfour, Curtis Joseph, Felix Potvin, Doug Favell, Mike Palmateer, Wayne Thomas, and Michel Bunny Larocque, as well as the old-school white fiberglass masks of Terry Sawchuk, Jacques Plante, and Johnny Bauer, who our guest Jim Barber got to sit across the table from.
Ah, yeah, I remember hearing
pretty
that,
cool.
yes. Yeah.
So
I don't know if this guy looked at the depth chart, but like this is a lot of artwork into a guy that's probably going to go play in Tampa or Colorado or something.
yeah, so we should talk about that. The whole point of that is goaltender Andrei Vasilevsky underwent a successful microdiscectomy this morning to address a lumbar disc herniation. Vasilevsky is expected to miss approximately the first 2 months of the regular season. Is Tampa screwed? Will they claim Martin Jones? Find out next on the regular season waiver wire.
Yeah. I mean, that mask isn't going to match any other jersey. But I mean, it's beautiful, though. That mask was a really nice mask, but I don't think he's going to be playing here. So it's kind of odd. Like,
really? You think
maybe he's trying to
you
win
think
the
somebody's going to take him? Like if Tampa doesn't take him, which they probably won't. Who do you think would take? I don't know. I don't think so. No. I don't think Martin Jones is your. I don't know. Maybe, but like, I'd be surprised.
Like if they have their backup at the moment. He's a young kid. If you brought in Martin Jones, then he can serve kind of as a mentor while Vasi's out, and then they can put him on waivers.
Vasi can serve as a mentor while Vasi's out.
Not on the ice.
No. But
yeah.
I don't know. I guess. I just don't know.
What about the other day we talked about Colorado too? Like I think there's a lot of teams that would take a veteran goalie like Martin Jones.
Well, he didn't exactly sign right away.
Right.
They was a later signing in the season, right? Like a signing season.
Yeah, that is true.
So like, not if all these teams wanted him, he'd have been signed on July 1, and he wasn't.
Well, Vasi wasn't having surgery back then, though, so things do change.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. I would love it if he stuck around. But
yeah, he might find a place there. Who knows, right? Who knows, like, what's going to happen I mean, obviously we've got Sammy starting. Is Woll the backup? Is Joseph Woll the main?
Definitely.
Yeah, okay. So Martin Jones, he'd be essentially fighting for that spot. And I think Woll is a great
Woll's, and you can't put him down, otherwise he's got to go on waivers too. And you're not putting Joey Woll on waivers. You're not putting Ilya Samsonov on waivers. So who does that leave you?
Yeah, I know.
Martin Jones
was a case
sick mask though.
Yeah, sick mask.
Great mask.
Yeah.
Maybe we can auction it off or something.
No, he gets to keep that now. He played for the Leafs, right? Some preseason games and
Leafs
trained with the team, and I signed a contract, and then I claimed off waivers. Tis what it is.
Great party story too. If you put it on a shelf,
Is it so bad that like you're good enough that another NHL team wants to take you still when you're that far into your NHL tenure? You've played in the league for so many years, and you're somebody's third goalie, and you're like, you know what, I'm happy just to be in the league. And then you get put on waivers. Oh, I got to go to the AHL, and the pro team takes you, and they're like, no, you can start. And you're like, wow, okay, never mind. Here I am again. So I don't think he's going to be too upset about it, and just take the mask, put it on his shelf with all the other ones for all the other teams he's played on, and he'd be like, yeah, he's probably got sick masks from every team.
I mean, yeah, if I was a goalie and I had the budget for it, which you would after signing a bunch of NHL contracts throughout your career, no matter if I signed for a team and knew they were just doing it as a flip, I'd be like, whatever. Like, I'm getting the team mask made, even if I'm going to be gone or put on waiver, anything, just to say I was there, had the stop in my career.
I mean, you're not going to show up with a white mask, so I mean,
exactly.
You're going to put something on it, and if you had a cool idea, then yeah.
And these new artists, they're like making these mask. Like, why wouldn't you, right? It's almost like a tattoo, but you could take it off. Like, it's like you get to design this custom piece of artwork that I get to wear for my job.
That's so true.
Like, wouldn't you guys like to do that? It's like you just
Oh,
get
yeah.
custom
Yeah.
outfits, custom tools or whatever. Like,
I was gonna say my tool belt and my tool bag are basically my mask for work, I guess, because
yeah,
everyone looks at each other's stuff and it's, what do you got?
yeah, exactly. So you're a guy who rocks like all green tools or all red tools or orange tools. Because
No,
I work with some
all the
guys
best
like that.
tools, just the best tools,
Just the best of everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So I'd like to ask, how fucked is Tampa on a scale of 1 to Kim Kardashian?
Jesus.
Do you think there are gonna be do you think that they're gonna be able to play
I didn't understand
regular
the
season
scale.
games? That whole Ray J and Kim Kardashian thing,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right.
Do you think Tampa is going to be able to play games, actual games, and win these games without Andre Vasilevsky? Because the team's good, the team's great and awesome, and they won, but like they had Andre Vasilevsky. Let's not forget that. Okay?
Yeah, the man's an acrobat.
They won these games mostly because of him, not because of all the other guys. And they did play their part. They scored the goals. You're right. But the Leafs would have killed them. It was Martin Jones was in net in those playoffs. I'm just saying. Okay? So do you think that they're going to absolutely shit the bed at the beginning of the season with a new goalie, or do you think that they have a chance?
I think that they will be okay. I don't think it's going to make it so they're not in playoff contention. I don't think they're going to come out of it in first. I don't think Tampa's going to be that finish first anyway, but I think they'll be okay. It sucks. Like I would consider him maybe their best player, even though he's the goalie, but his injury, it's a good time to have it because, it gives you a long time to recover. So,
yeah.
I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean we've seen examples of worse teams doing better with or doing okay, holding it down with worse goalies. Or their main guy out, someone steps in. I mean, I could go on forever where a young unknown goalie steps in at a time. That's pretty crucial.
Matt Murray,
Cam Ward, sure.
He did for Marc-Andre Fleury in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so actually, Ted, do you know this goalie? It looks like he's wearing a Colorado jersey, but Jonas Johansson?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was, yes. Jordan knows him really well, too, I think, from Fantasy the one year.
It was the other guy, that Justice and Noonan.
Was Annunen?
Yeah.
No, was it?
Yeah, and Noonan.
Oh, that's worse for me.
Yeah, he let in like 3 goals and got pulled. It was like 3 goals on 4 shots and then got pulled. And I was like, oh, okay, well, there goes my night in fantasy, my whole week, I think. I think I was playing against in the categories league, but yeah.
Yeah,
screwed.
Yeah, Johansson's not bad.
Right. So I was just seeing his numbers there from last. He didn't play very much, right? So he had 2 wins, .932 save percentage, 2.1 goals against average. So like when he wasn't, he played fine. I mean, Colorado is a pretty good team to be goalie for, but.
Yep. Yeah, we liked him. All the announcers, the Denver announcers on Altitude, they've got nicknames for everybody. He was JoJo, Jonas Johansson. So. I mean, when you get a little cutesy nickname like that, we like you. So
right.
he was a liked guy in Colorado for sure.
Yeah, added him to my fantasy team. I hope he's going to be okay.
Oh,
yeah, he had a lot of ads.
Lord. All right, here you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you guys heard of the Oak Leafs? You follow him on Twitter? He runs the name Active Stick. So I've got a tweet here from Active Stick, and his actual ad is the Oak Leafs.
Okay.
And it reads off, this guy's a fucking great follow, like top 10 follow, Twitter follows, like especially if you're a Leafs fan. Like, so it's
you screenshotted this within 21 seconds. It must be a good follow.
Oh yeah, it's great. Tampa Bay Lightning and Boston are 2 teams I've been conditioned to never count out, no matter what injury crisis they claim to have. I could literally witness you dropping both rosters into an active volcano, followed by a nuke, and I'd be like, whatever. See you in round 1, you lying motherfuckers.
Oh, it's so good.
Because it's like, you think Boston's not going to be good this year? You are lying to yourself. They are still going to be good this year. You don't think Tampa's going to be good this year? They're still going to be good this year.
I think Tampa will be good. I don't think Boston will be that great. They've lost their 2 top centermen. I mean, I think it's going to be a little bit of a
they
rough
still got
go
their
over
big
there.
goalie tandem, and they still got lots of talent there. Pasta, Marchand, there's still
This new
talent there.
Poitras guy, he's
Poitras?
yeah, I think that's his name, Poitras. I don't even know I haven't heard it. I've only read it. That makes me cooler, right? Because I read. I haven't even heard it said. But Matthew Poitras, I don't know. He's a second line center for them. He's playing it in the preseason for them, so that's cool. I mean, he's playing with Marchand on his wing. The top line had James Van Riemsdyk on the left wing of Zacha and Pasternak.
Yeah, Zacha's another guy.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, James Van Riemsdyk. So
JVR.
I still think, man, like when guys go to Boston, you're like, they're not good. They're still good. Boston's makes guys good. They have a certain type of culture there that we talked about when we talked about Brad Marchand being named captain. They make guys into Bruins. You show up, you can be whatever you want. You leave, you're a Bruin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there does seem to be something in the water there. I mean, it was kind of like the Patriots, who are very close to there. It was similar with them back in their day, right? Like, there's something from that part of the world where you go there and you play a little bit tougher. Yeah, I mean, it'll take
New
a season
England.
for me to get used to Boston not being good, but I do believe that they're not going to be this powerhouse anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So do you boys want to jump into break here?
Let's do it.
And then we will join back in just a few moments. So thanks for everybody joining us live. For everybody else, I'm not even sure how we do it. We're just probably going to flash in, flash out, and we'll be right back into the next topic. See y'all in a second. Split the defense.
He's right.
Welcome back for the second half of Split the Defense Hockey Podcast. I'm Webby, alongside my hosts, CP and producer Ted. In the first half, we talked about the Leafs in the preseason. We talked about Fraser Minton. The Ducks signed their kids. We got into Martin Jones' mask and Vasilevsky's injury. And we will continue on with some Leaf stuff, and then we're going to chat fantasy and check in on the Avs before we get out of here today. So let's start off with something that I found very interesting when I first heard it. It's that Matthews will join the penalty kill. Craig first sent this to us, per Jonas Siegel of The Athletic, about a week ago. And it's something the Leafs haven't tasked their young star with as much as they have Marner. Matthews has 24 career minutes. Marner has 650 plus career minutes. We all know Marner is one of the best penalty killers, not just for his defense, but also for the offense he can provide. That's wild. Now, before you guys tell me what you think, let's hear from the coach. What does the coach think of so far of what he's seen?
Progressive.
Again, second game, so he hasn't had a lot of time on it, so I think it's a little early. He had a couple of his best scoring opportunities tonight came while shorthanded, so that's positive. But pulling the puck out of our net while shorthanded is not a good thing. So, that's the kind of stuff that we'll continue to work through the more reps he gets.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's funny. You're seeing again that Keefe is like kind of telling him, yeah, he's learning, but he did have to pull it out of the back of the net.
Yeah.
So, he didn't forget to remind him of that. But I noticed right away that they had a scoring chance basically on their first penalty kill together, Marner and Matthews. And
of course they did.
It kind of got me excited. They did let one in on Monday, but even tonight, like I noticed it again. It's something that I think he'll have to kind of warm into, like Keith said. yeah, I think that it's a chance to get him a little bit of more even ice time with Marner, and this I think is going to happen more on the end of the penalty kills. So it'll be Marner's second shift, and then this can kind of roll into them getting back to even strength.
And then just
So that you don't have to roll out a line without Marner and Matthews together.
True.
That's
Yeah.
smart.
I don't think
Good
this is
strategy.
like this isn't first shift stuff, but yeah, I do like that he's going to be all the top players play on the penalty kill. You know, McDavid does it. Bergeron was always one of the best penalty killers. So
That line from Ray Ferraro and James Sabalski and Chell. Thankfully, they've got new ones because that won't apply when he says their best player's going to have to sit now.
Yeah.
Because he'll be out.
That never
He'll be
worked
out
for
on the
Boston
penalty
either.
kill.
Like, no, their best
I
players
know,
penalty
like
kill.
it didn't apply to a lot of
That's
I
not
know.
right. So you say
I
if
know.
that's how it's going to work, the Matthews is going to come out at the end of a shift. Does that mean that the third man that plays with them, like Bertuzzi, he's going to get short shifted when the end of the penalty comes? You're going to play 30 more seconds or like whatever, 20 more seconds, and that's when Bertuzzi comes out, or that's they just both go off. So he's got to sit that whole time until they come back. Because he's real. That's going to be a lot of ice time missed for him.
yeah, you'd throw Bertuzzi out on the first shift. That would be your mix match line, but it just doesn't include Matthews. So Bertuzzi goes out the first shift after Matthews Marners go off, and then it's probably a shorter shift with some other arrangement of players that weren't on the penalty kill, and then the next shift of Matthews and Marner, then Bertuzzi's back on it.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you think that that's something that they should be using Austin Matthews minutes on? That was a question that you asked into the chat here, and
Yeah.
I have a photo that I wanted to bring up to prove a point.
Okay.
So Austin Matthews played 20 minutes and 17 seconds average time on ice per game last year. Look how far down the list he is from the top forward who played the most ice time. No, not there. Down. Yeah. Zoom in. Down.
We had McDavid.
Down,
we had McKinnon. We
down,
had
He can play more minutes. If he wants another 2 minutes on the penalty kill, like even if he took another 45 seconds on the penalty kill, right? A minute. Like he played 1 minute per game on the penalty kill. That only brings him up to 21-17. So go to 21-17. He's going to play the exact same as Mitch Marner. Perfect.
Right. Perfect. Yeah. And look at the players at the top of that list, right? Like two of Ted's favorites there, right underneath Connor McDavid. And
he seems to fit within that list. He should be having those numbers, right?
He should be playing those minutes too.
Yep, I think he should. Yeah.
And he's missing out on those minutes because of the penalty kill. So it's not, is that something they should be using his minutes on? It's the man can afford to play more minutes. Like everybody else is doing. He can take a couple extra shifts per game. He's not going to miss out on his other shifts because he played that. He's well-conditioned guy too, right? He's top of the league player.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So you wanted to know, does Marner's 5 points on the penalty kills skyrocket?
Yeah, so if you kind of look here, Marner in the last 2 years, his penalty kill time has gone up. So last year he had 182 minutes. The year before that, 144, and then he had 107 and so on. Less games though, I guess, because those were the COVID years. But so he has 4 goals in last year and only 1 assist. And so you would imagine that if he's on the PK with Matthews, he's going to have a lot of opportunities to set him up, and that's what we've been seeing. Matthews takes away the puck, gives it to Marner. Marner kills time in the middle of the ice and just waits for the killer of Matthews to come up on the left side. He lobs it over there just beautifully, So
Bam!
I could see him, maybe his goals stay the same-ish. He had 3 and then 4 last year. But then, I think, doesn't his assists are going to go up, right?
I think when you put it like that, I'd have to agree.
Nice. Got one.
No, I think it's very true. You put him with Matthews. He had David Kampf scoring those goals for him last year, and I can't think how I think there was one Mark Giordano was a shorthanded, It was beautiful drop
Right,
pass. You
yep.
remember that beauty drop pass that Gio put in last
I
year?
do remember
Yeah, I
that
know.
one.
Now that I bring it
I
up,
don't remember the Camp one, but the Geo one sticks
Camp
out for
scored a
sure.
bunch for him, right? Camp. He
Yeah, I
probably
don't know why.
scored the other 2 or 3. That
I, yeah, I think of Camp and I just see him knocking pucks out of the air and stick checking, and I can't imagine him even scoring one. So I can't.
no, I mean like
it's probably
sorry, when he's playing with Camp, right? So he's getting assists from these guys. They're not the ones scoring
yeah,
them.
yeah,
They're the ones. They're
yeah,
the
yeah.
ones on the line with them, playing with them.
Right.
So when he's got those guys to dish to, and he's still right, they're still going up and on the positive, and Marner's scoring 4 goals. I think his goals may go
Yeah.
down. Like he might not score 4 again on the penalty kill, but I think his assists will go up.
Right. Yeah. So maybe it doesn't. If his goals go down, maybe he doesn't even. Maybe he only gets like 1 or 2 more points. But I mean, if you get like 8 or 9 points on the PK, that's awesome. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on, an old familiar face, Semyon Daraguchintsev, is tearing up the KHL apparently, which is great for him. The Leafs still have rights to his contract, so that's still good for the Leafs. If the spot was to open up and he was to want to play, maybe he could come play. But for right now, he's gone to play over professionally in the KHL. He played 2 full seasons with the Leafs in the AHL for the Marlies, and he decided to leave to return to his homeland of Russia this past offseason. SDA signed a 2-year deal with Tractor Chelyabinsk of the KHL. At the time, many thought this would mark the end of his time with the Leafs. However, the Leafs clearly liked the player as they tendered him to a qualifying offer to retain his rights. A 3rd-round pick in the 2018 draft, SDA is off to a hot start with Tractor. Through 14 games, he has 6 goals and 8 points and is playing almost 16 minutes per night. Not bad, not great, but 6th on the team for forwards and ice time. So he's in the top 6 for forwards.
Yep, playing a role.
In the KHL, that's still a big deal, right? Like, there's lots of guys that are still playing in the KHL that like are flipping back and forth. They could play in the A and maybe come play NHL games, but they're playing in the K full time. Number 2 on the ice time for the team. I thought this was great. Nikita Shoshnikov.
My favorite part. Yeah.
You remember him?
Oh, of course. I love that guy.
Me too. Nikita Shoshnikov. He bang and crash and score goals. Yeah, he was.
Oh, he was so fast too.
Reckless too. Absolutely reckless.
Very reckless. Definitely had a bit of that Russian temper in him. I saw it flare a few times.
Oh man, he played like he didn't care about his life when he was out on the ice. Like just no care or regard for his life or anybody else's. He's just flying into these plays, like just flying in. Like, hey, he either gets the puck or he's taking you out. And like, I don't know. Like, I guess his last couple weren't strides or whatever, so maybe he didn't get these charging calls. I think he did take quite a few penalties though. But
yeah, I can picture him skating to the box for sure.
Yeah, but he was a hard-hitting player, very, very hard-hitting player, and very fun player to watch. Also on that team, I thought was cool, was Canadian goalie Zach Fucale. Fucale is a former second-round pick of the Canadiens, never really played in the NHL, never got a sniff. But he did win the World Junior Championship gold medal in 2015. I do remember that. He was the
right. I was gonna say I knew that name. So
he was the World Junior goalie. So, he's over in the KHL. So the knock on SDA since being drafted was his size, being only 5'10" and 167 pounds. However, he has shown that his size doesn't hinder him, as he's been plenty productive in the AHL and now the KHL. Why don't you think he can make it in the NHL? Didn't he look kind of good when he was up here last year?
I think he's a player that he's going to have trouble getting. He doesn't have the high end skill, so he's going to have trouble breaking through into the NHL. And so his agent probably told him he could probably make somewhere between 200 and $1 million somewhere in Russia, and that's way better than the 60 grand that the Leafs are going to pay him. So I think this is a guy that just recognizes his future and is ready to bank on it. So. Yeah, that's a lot of time when you lose these AHL guys that are fringy is because of the money. Because KHL doesn't pay that bad. So
more, anyways. Yeah, not the millions that you'd make in the NHL, but
You can make millions for sure. The top players make millions.
Yeah, what's the top?
It's,
What's the top paid player in the KHL? What does he make? I'm sure Google
I
would
don't
tell
know.
you that.
Yeah, you look that up. It's also hard to find salaries of every player. You can find a lot of the top paid guys, but you'll never probably find what SDA is making just because it's one of those lower tiers. So, but yeah, you can.
Sure.
Some of the players will make up like over a million.
1.1. Like, you know,
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
That's over a
yeah,
million.
but still, what if that's what you want to go and try to get in the NHL and sign a 2-year 1.8, 2-year 2.5, and like, you know what I mean? Like, you definitely want to come over to the AHL, especially if you're a kid and have a chance to develop and be seen and fit in with the team. Guys who don't deserve to play get big contracts all the time. Look at Justin Hall.
Yeah, but what if someone told you like you could go to Russia and make 60 grand, or you could come and play at home and you can make 200 grand?
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't
how
go to
look
Russia.
at it. No, but that's for
Like,
him. That's
ever.
the comparison, right? Like, he's a Russian. So if you swap places with him, it seems a little bit more understandable.
Yeah.
But that's only if you don't think you're making the NHL.
And that's true.
Which maybe he's
Obviously,
decided.
maybe he's decided he's going to play hockey, but he's not going to make it in the NHL. So he's going to make some bank in the K. So quick update: the Leafs won 4-3 in overtime.
Hey.
Overtime. Wow. Okay. Woohoo.
Good.
All right. So out of that into Colorado Avalanche. The Colorado Avalanche have announced the following transactions: Nate Klerman, Peter Holland, Trent Miner, Oscar Olason, and Andre Pavel will report to AHL training camp with the Colorado Eagles. Injury updates from Jared Bednar, as Mikko Rantanen is day-to-day with a lower body injury. Bednar isn't concerned about him missing opening night, though.
No, yeah. Not worried about that. I think those AHL moves, the guys going down to the Eagles, Pavel and Miner, they're solid Eagles. They played with the Eagles last year. I think they're going to find their space again. Klerman looked okay throughout what I saw him in preseason, so he'll be good to have there. Olason, he was cool too, good to see. And Leafs legend, obviously, Peter Holland. So yeah, it's good guys to have on the Eagles.
Yep, absolutely. Peter Holland is heading to the Eagles, and he actually had a couple quotes. It says, "There's an initial feeling of failure when you don't make the team. I had some time to think about it, and considering I didn't play hockey last year, it's not really a failure. I sort of felt like going to the Eagles was a step in the process of getting back here." Peter Holland also said he had a conversation with assistant GM Kevin McDonald, and he wanted to make sure he had a legitimate shot to get back in the NHL before even agreeing to go to AHL camp. Holland says he seemed to think, if I play well down there, there's an opportunity to come up here. I guess there kind of is a fourth-line center spot for Peter Holland if Peter Holland can find his game again.
Exactly. And injuries are something we always mention, and you never know. And there's that spot kind of up for grabs, especially with Ben Myers
the guy
right now. I think he's day-to-day. I don't hate Ben Myers.
You hate Ben Myers. That's what you said before. Every time we brought up another player, you're like, I hate Ben Myers. I listened back to our show.
No.
Yeah, that's what you said. You literally said with your words,
you can dispute
I
that.
hate Ben Myers. I heard that in the last podcast.
Sure. Go listen.
I think I have it on a voice note, actually.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, we got to have this guy playing because you don't want to have Ben Myers in that spot. You know what I mean? And, there's another position up for grabs. Okay, well, yeah, we could have, this guy could take this spot. Yeah, he's a good guy. We want him in there because, you don't want to have Ben Myers in that spot. He was good.
Oh, my God.
So, and then you went out right of your way.
This is a good promo to go listen to our show.
Ben Myers. We love you, Ben Myers.
You can prove these two guys wrong. Just listen to our show, everybody. I swear.
That's awesome. So, a guy that you do like, though, Riley Tuft, he's still in the mix for one of the final spots. And they asked him how he felt in being in that position. And he said to make the team would be everything to me. So he is going to pour his heart into this team. You love kids like that. Just like the whole Fraser Minton thing we talked about earlier. You want kids who want to play, right?
Exactly. We want guys like this. I watched him all through he was a guy that I noticed the whole time. It was like Riley Tufte. Riley Tufte. And I want to hear that through the season, too. I want to see this kid on the team. He looked good in an Avs jersey.
Riley Tufte, he'll be a household name.
Yeah, you watch.
All right. So, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Yes.
We got some time. Let's talk about our fantasy. So, Sunday night, we kicked off our fantasy league. Our league is a 12-team categories league, which means each category is tracked against your weekly opponent. Whoever takes the most categories wins the week. We track for skaters, goals, assists, points, power play points, shots on goal, face-off wins, hits, blocks. And for goalies, we track wins, goals against average, saves, save percentage, and shutouts.
So, so somehow, Jordan, you got the first pick again this year, and I played with you last year. You got the pick, and
he got it the pick the year before when he played in a league with me.
That's how many years have you played fantasy for?
How is he doing this?
Like, are you 3 for 3?
3 for 3.
Oh my god!
He's never not picked first. He doesn't know what it's like to be a normal fantasy player.
It's either Connor
doesn't
McDavid
have the
or
option of
Austin
picking
Matthews.
McDavid.
If I was like, do I want McDavid this year? No, I want McDavid.
Just who do I want? Every year. You don't even have to think about it. You're just like, who do I want? I'm going to take them.
You know, like when draft day is coming up and you're like, okay, so if I get first, I know what I would do. I'm going to, and you plan all these things. That's like that thing when you think like, when you play the lottery and you think about winning the lottery. It's the same thing. And you win the lottery every year, man.
I might be a
crazy.
pessimist because I never plan on having the first pick and I don't play the lottery. So, I mean, that's kind of maybe that's a me problem.
You know what I tried to do? I tried to actually, remember you said in the last episode about when we talked about fantasy, that sixth is kind of the worst position, right? And so I always went into these mock drafts trying to take fifth or sixth. So that way I could try and build the best team I could with fifth or sixth. And then, you know, some players that you're going to kind of be able to get, right? It's like, at least I can be better than this. So I went just playing fourth, fifth, sixth. I never went with first because first kind of sucks as well because it's a snake draft. So I didn't pick again until I think it was like 21st or something like that. Or it was 25th, like something like that. It was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough. Yeah. But Ted, you picked 9th and Craig, you picked 11th.
Yep.
And
I mean, like, I've said in the past that like you want to be the first 3 or you want to be the last 3 because just like you said, where you know it is a snake draft. So like if you're one of the top 3, you either get McDavid like you picked, or you know, I mean, I think it went Draisaitl McKinnon in our league. But then when as I said, like 10, 11, 12, you get you get to pick 2 of the top 15 players. So. Yeah, so Ted, tell us how 9's okay. So how'd you feel about 9?
9 was good. I got a good team.
You like
first pick was Matthew Tkachuk. I got Matthew Tkachuk 9th overall.
Yeah,
which
surprising,
not bad,
right?
Considering,
like Brady Tkachuk went higher. I know it's a category.
That had to be an auto pick, right?
No.
Was
Shane
there? Okay.
Shane was a player. He's a guy that he's very serious about his team. But we've all every year, everyone always wants Brady Tkachuk, right?
The reaction in the chat was, I don't know, pretty funny to that pick. But so then, I got Matthew Tkachuk, which I was happy about, and then I got Kucherov on the next when the snake came back around. It was about. So at that point, I'd have about 4 picks in between because then there'd go 10, 11, 12, and then, or about 6 picks in between, and then 12, 11, 10, and then me again. So it would go me, 6 picks, and then the other way around, it would go me, and then, 8 through 1, and then 1 through 8, and then me. So it was like 16 picks in between, which was annoying. That's when I'd take some time and go and, you do you, and do one of those, take a little me time, and then... and then come back to the draft. And I was every time I came back, my watch list and my queue would be emptied out a little bit. All the guys I had ready to go were gone. And that's the way it goes. It was interesting seeing everyone.
Yeah, I mean, Kucherov's a guy that normally in the past, like I think in the past 5 years, he's been in top 5 players picked.
Yeah, easily.
So to see him drop, you got him at 16. That's that could be a real steal. Yeah.
I think so. If he produces like he has other years, obviously, But we've been talking about Tampa's struggles. Are they going to be as good? But is one guy's career going to change because of the team? You never know. We've seen guys put up crazy numbers on awful teams, and
Yeah.
you never know. He could still put up crazy numbers. That's what I'm hoping for.
Right. Yeah.
So can we go through?
So,
You guys
yeah.
got your fantasies up. Can we read out our first
Yep.
5 picks each? What was your first?
Sure.
Pull up
Sure.
your draft and read out your
Sure.
first 5.
Why?
What I can start because I'm open.
Yeah, if you got it.
So
up,
I
go
picked
ahead.
first overall, and I didn't pick Austin Matthews this year. I picked Connor McDavid. And then I picked
Smart
again
man.
at 24, and I got William Nylander. Then I got at 25 as well, so I picked up John Tavares. At 48 was when I picked again, and that was Miro Heiskanen. And at 49, I picked up Connor Hellebuck.
Very nice.
Yep.
Yeah,
Very
I
nice.
liked your picks.
All right, mine are so my first pick at 11 was Cal McCarr.
Love
I
it.
I picked him last year too. I have a sweet spot for him. Second pick, Mitch Marner. Again, kind of a sweet spot pick. Steven Stamkos at 3, which was the 35th pick, which was remember when I told you guys about picking teams you like? I didn't do that. And I just couldn't believe he was sitting there. It's kind of with Kucherov. Like, everyone's so low on Tampa. I was just like, oh, I got to grab him. So,
Yeah, it's still Stammer.
yeah. And then fourth was Barkov, which was just 3 picks later because I'm late in the draft. And then Jack Eichel at 59.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were good picks as well. As I said, yeah, Kachuk was my first pick at number 9. 16th overall was Kucherov. And then my next pick wasn't until number 33. I took Rupe Hintz from Dallas. Then I grabbed my first defenseman with my fourth pick, which was 40th overall, Erik Karlsson. Big Pittsburgh signing, obviously. And then Matt Boldy as my fifth pick at 57. I'm seeing a breakout year for him, I think. I think Boldy's just
Talk
gonna
about
go
a guy
nuts
who
this
watches
year.
the West,
Yeah.
eh? It's like the only
Yeah.
guy who watches the West.
Yeah,
We're
no.
like, what? Why would you
Who
pick
are
these
these
guys like
guys?
there? Ted's like, yeah, but have you seen them play? We're like,
Have
no.
you seen
And
them?
he's like, yeah,
Like,
Babs
no,
play them all
I'm
the
not-
time.
I'm asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rupe Hentz is I really like Rupe Hentz, and he's got a great lineman in Jason Robertson. So you kind
Yes.
of you get all those extra points from him. Yeah.
That was the thing. I was looking at J-Rob around the Kucherov pick, and I took Kucherov, and then I was like, please still be there. And I knew he wouldn't be because I didn't pick for 16 more picks. So sure enough, J-Rob went, and I was like, I'll take Hintz because he's on that line.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that was
Yeah, and so like I just want to shout out my sixth pick if I could,
okay.
Yeah.
which was Andre Vasilevsky. And
Yeah, you got him.
I did it again, where I'm breaking my own rules and picking guys that I'm not cheering for their team. And but again, like he's a guy that he was in the first round last year. I know he's injured. We talked about his injury earlier in the show, where he's going to be out for the next 8 to 10 weeks or so, potentially longer, but roughly. And yeah, I just couldn't believe it. So like, I have some trading to do, I think, because I think my team is good, but I'm not really sold on. I'm not vibing with them yet. So GM CP might be doing some rearranging.
Yeah, we might have a trade up in the works, eh? The idea is that CP is going to give me Cale Makar, Mitch Marner, and Alexander Barkov for Connor McDavid and somebody not as good as William Nylander.
I mean, you threw out
be
the Mark Stone
continued.
one. Yeah, if it was any other right winger than Mark Stone, just because like he is going to be like they've already said that he might only play like half the games this year. But I think like it's funny. Like everyone always says that if you get the best, it's the same in fantasy and real life. If you get the best player in the trade, normally the person that won the trade. But I just look at my right wing afterwards, and it's just like, oh man, I'm demolished. Those are like 3 of my favorite players on my team. So, and players I have locked in, like I want them. So, yeah.
Well, I need the
a tough
high
one.
scoring points. I need the face off wins, and I need another top player because you're not just getting some sort of deal here. So
Yeah.
that's the That's
I do
skill
understand.
repair.
Like everything you said has made sense. Like, because like you're giving up Mick David. That's I can't even believe that you're thinking about it. But then like I think of it and I'm like, it's hard for me to hit accept or send out that trade based on just like you gotta ship out my whole team, right? So
It's got to make sense for both of you. You can't just do a blockbuster just for the sake of doing a blockbuster.
yeah,
Like, yes, it would be
exactly.
awesome, and I would be like, boys, that was crazy, but it has to be right.
Yeah. You either both have to think that you won the trade secretly, or you
Yeah.
both have to think that you lost the trade. Typically it's the second one where like you're just like no one's really
Why
happy.
did we do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
we
like,
just did that to do it, didn't
I
we?
wanted it. I got it done. And it's probably the same with GMs, right? They're just like each GM they're fighting to win the trade and then they're just like, oh, frig it. I'll give you that second round pick and then like they're storming away not happy, but they got what they wanted. So
That's
yeah.
right.
So, did you guys have any theories going into this draft? Did you have anything that you followed? What? How did you make your decisions on who you picked?
Oh, so many different sources, I think, based on stuff I saw last year, stuff I heard, stuff I knew personally, reading articles. I try to not use, like, we do our draft and our fantasy league through Yahoo, and I try to not use that as much. But when you're doing the draft, they have the players ranked, and it's usually close to what you're looking at. So you can find the players you're looking for usually pretty quickly. They're within that first page usually. If you've done your kind of research, I think, and if Yahoo's right, I've seen where they're way off and they have guys that aren't even showing up, and you're like, this guy, like, I'm going to steal this guy now because Yahoo has him hidden somewhere. So yeah, bunch of sources. I
What
think.
about you, Craig?
Yeah. I mean, I go through the entire ranking list. Like you can look at about the top 500 that different sites you can look for, and I just pick out the guys that I think that are way underrated. And whether it's
Sleepers.
because of injury or
Now, do you have certain guys you just don't go for because like you're like, oh well, I'll never get this guy? See, like I have picked first and then 24th and 25th, so I went and started picking again like around. I started looking at guys around 20, 20 to 30 in that range, and then I put a few on my queue, right? And those would be the picks that
Yeah.
I wanted next. Did you look like
Yeah.
that, or did you just make a whole queue of guys that that you wanted from the very beginning? Like, do you guys have lists like that?
Yeah, I had a huge queue before I basically pick like way more players than I have for a roster.
Oh yeah,
Like every guy I want, and then I just watch them filter through. And
my list
You too, CP?
My list is
Kinda
two
left.
tiered. So I because I do the no G, well I try to do the no G strategy where I pick a goalie late. I
Yeah.
put all the goalies in my watch list, and then I
just
pick
watch
all
them
of
go.
my players that are late that I feel because you have a half an hour before the draft, right? You have a lot of time. So anyone that I think that is a late pick that I'm going to forget about, they go in next, and I put them at the top. And then I go through from like 1 to 100 and map out basically my first 10 or 8 to 10 picks. And then I kind of, you got to read the room. And that's why my goalie list is there. So every pick I'm checking to see what goalies have gone off the list. And so then I can kind of gauge when I want to jump into the goalie market because I don't want to. Markstrom was on my list of a guy that I thought he'll have a bounce back season, and so he was supposed to be my first goalie picked until Andre Vasilevsky's there in the 6th round.
Yeah,
So
might as well.
and then I just watch my goalie list and I have guys pre-picked out that I think that I could almost guarantee that I could get in that round. And I typically have 2 players per round. So, yeah, it was pretty mapped out. I had the Stamkos. Well, let me go through my list here and I'll tell you like the teams that I like. The Stamkos is a curveball. The Vasilevsky's a curveball. And then till my 15th pick, all the rest of those I knew before the draft I was going to pick them.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I similar. So I actually
just
like
winging
have
it?
guys already that don't even like look up anything. I'll watch this. I don't know anybody else's opinion. I don't need it. I watched it. I've played it, and I've like lived it. Like it's disgusting how much I watch
And
this stuff and how everybody's doing
Yeah,
every day in the league. So I actually have a theory that is I like to do C's, D, and a G. That's to my first 5 picks. If you go back, so I like to do 3 C's, a goalie, and a defender in the first 5 rounds, and that's what I did this year. And William Nylander is a right wing, which doubled down because the first year that I did 3 C's, which I got Connor McDavid, John Tavares, and Alexander Barkov. Great year for faceoffs, and like there's so many fantasy points. Wow. It was great, fantastic. But and I got William Nylander late. But so I took William Nylander because he was supposed to be a center. So 3 C's, D in Miro Heiskanen, and a G in Connor Hellebuck. Now, I picked Samsonov last year, and near the end of the year when he was hurt, he wasn't playing as much, and he tandemed and whatever, I really wished that I had a guy like Craig's goalie and Connor Hellebuck, and I tried to trade for him a few times. So I was like, I'm grabbing him now. He's Steady Freddy. He's the guy that nobody thinks about because he's just good. He's good all the time, right? And Winnipeg's, even if they're not going to win a whole bunch of games, Helly's not going to have terrible stats, right? He's not going to. He never has. Never in his career. Yeah. So I can pretty much count on him to give me a whole bunch of saves, and maybe I'll get some wins from elsewhere. I also picked Karel Vejmelka. He was he was 145th overall in the 13th round. But that man is playing for Arizona. I feel like he's going to get peltered with shots. He's going to give me so many saves every night. Like, not all of them are going to go in.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's not a bad strategy. Right. In, like, my points league, a save is worth, like, 0.1. And if they let one in, it's, like, negative 0.3. So, if you're getting 10... Like, if you have just a 900 save percentage, you're plus points, right? Yeah. And so, I think they're changing the rules on the goalies because that's like way too overpowered. That's when I told you guys I had 5 goalies in my other points league. Yeah, like that's why.
Yeah, you're making bank.
Yeah, but a guy that just gets saves, that's good in a categories league too because that's a good category. Yeah,
for sure. Well, we'll have to see how it goes.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we shall cut the show there. Thanks everybody for joining us again here for Split the Defense Hockey Podcast. Again, I'm Webby with my co-hosts, CP and producer Ted. It's time for bed.
Yes, signing off. See ya.
Yeah.
Be good. Care. If you can't be good, don't get caught. Peace.
Good night, everyone.
You've been listening to
Split the Defense,
where Jordan Webster, Ted Evans, and Craig Pearce talk about the NHL and all things hockey.
Split the Defense
can be found wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. It's also broadcasted on Amherst Island Radio, 101.3 FM, and online at CJAI.CA.